Hello everyone, the story I'm going to share today is Song Lian always kept his promise. Song Lian was a scholar, writer, and historian who lived during the beginning of Ming Dynasty. He practiced Confucianism and suggested that writing had to be morally uplifting. Song liked to read when he was little, and even after he grew up, he never stopped studying. He said, I very much liked to study when I was a little boy, but my family was poor and could not afford to buy books, so I borrowed books from wealthy families. Each time I borrowed one, I quickly copied it and then made sure I returned it on time. I knew I must keep my word so that people would trust me and continue to lend books to me. In this way, I was able to read books on various subjects. One time, Song Lian borrowed a book. The more he read it, the more he liked it. He decided to copy the book, but he had promised to return it the following day. Unfortunately, it was midwinter, and strong and icy wind blew outside. Because there was no firewood to warm the house, it was so cold inside his house that even the ink in the inkstone froze. Song Lian could not even bend his fingers, but he was still insist on sitting up all night to copy the book. When morning came, he was finished copying and he ran to make sure he kept his word and returned the book on time. Song Lian was not affected by poverty, hunger, or cold. Instead, he wholeheartedly focused on his studies. By the time he was 20, he was even more eager to learn the teachings of the sages. Since there were no teachers that he could ask, whenever he had a question, he would sometimes walk 100 miles to talk to experts or educated people. One time, Song Lian wanted to consult an expert on a certain subject, but the man lived several miles away. Song Lian made an appointment with him. But when the day came, it was snowing heavily. Nevertheless, he was determined to go. His mother said, How can you walk so far in this weather? It's snowing even more heavily where the man lives. You don't even have proper winter clothes, and you will be freeze. Song Lian said, If I don't go, I will miss the opportunity to learn from him. Breaking my promise would show the highest disrespect to my teacher. No matter how hard it snows, I will go. He put on his sandals and carrying his bag, he stepped into several feet of snow and began walking on the path which led to the mountains. When he arrived at his teacher's home, his arms and legs were frozen. Eventually, he regained the feelings in them. The teacher praised him and said, Young man, you like to learn and you kept your promise. You will surely have a bright future. Song Lian enjoyed a very successful career. People observed that it was because he could tolerate anything. He treated all his hardships as a test of his will. To this day, he is still remembered as a kind person and one of the greatest scholars in the 5,000 years of Chinese civilization. Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if you just subscribe it. Thank you again.